You have been told that manifesting your dream life is hard, that you must push, strive, and force reality to bend in your favor, that you must repeat affirmations until your voice grows tired, and visualize until your mind burns out. But what if the truth was the opposite? What if manifestation was never about forcing anything to happen, but about allowing what is already yours to unfold naturally? The quantum field does not respond to your effort. It responds to your alignment. Pause for a moment and feel this. You are not standing outside of life trying to control it. You are within a vast ocean of energy that mirrors your state. Every thought, emotion, and belief you hold is like a vibration on the surface of that ocean, sending ripples through the infinite field of potential. The universe is not testing you, it is translating you. The reason manifestation feels hard for most people is simple. They are fighting their own reflection. They try to overpower fear with words. They try to drown doubt with forced positivity. They chase what they desire instead of becoming it. But in the quantum world, forcing is friction. The harder you try, the louder the noise becomes, and the signal of who you truly are gets lost in the static. Imagine for a second that life is like a mirror. When you frown at it, it frowns back. When you smile, it smiles with you. But most people keep frowning at their reflection, demanding it to smile first. This is the illusion of effort. You are not here to convince the universe. You are here to align with it. The moment you stop pushing, something subtle yet powerful begins to happen. Your energy softens, your nervous system calms, your heart starts to open, and the field around you becomes clearer, more responsive. You start noticing small coincidences that feel too perfect to be random, conversations that seem timed just right, ideas that arrive exactly when needed. These are not miracles. They are mirrors of coherence. Coherence means your thoughts, emotions, and actions are moving in the same direction. It means you have stopped sending mixed signals. When your mind says yes, but your body says no, the field receives confusion. But when your entire system vibrates as one, the field translates that clarity into form. You might have been taught to think your way into change, to fix your outer world before you can feel safe within. But the quantum field reverses that logic. It listens first to your inner state and arranges the external to match it. This is why the most profound shifts often happen when you stop trying, because in that stillness, your true signal emerges. Take a deep breath right now and notice how your body feels. Maybe there is tension in your shoulders or a heaviness in your chest. Without judging it, just notice, because that awareness alone starts to shift the energy. What you are feeling is not an obstacle, it is information. The body is the bridge between your inner and outer reality. When you listen to it, you begin to realign the field around you. Quantum manifestation is not about controlling outcomes. It is about becoming a clear channel through which the right outcomes can find you. You do not chase what is yours. You magnetize it through coherence. Every time you choose presence over panic, softness over struggle, trust over tension, you are tuning the dial of your reality toward harmony. The field is listening, not to your words, but to your vibration. You can say, "I am abundant," 1,000 times, but if your nervous system is still braced for loss, the field will echo that fear. This is not punishment, it is precision. Energy mirrors energy. When you embody the frequency of abundance, not in words but in feeling, the field collapses that version of reality into form. Think of a time in your life when something came to you effortlessly. You met the right person by accident, received an opportunity you were not chasing, or had a solution appear out of nowhere. You did not force those moments. You were aligned enough for them to find you. That is quantum manifestation in action. It happens when effort gives way to embodiment. The truth is, the quantum field is always responding. You are constantly manifesting, whether you realize it or not. The question is not whether you are manifesting, but what frequency you are broadcasting. Most people are broadcasting from fear, scarcity, or self-doubt. They observe their lives through the lens of what is missing. And because the field mirrors their observation, they receive more of what they fear. But when you become aware that your focus is the creative force, you begin to reclaim your power. You stop asking, "How do I get there?" and start asking, "Who am I being right now?" That single shift in awareness changes everything. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop efforting and start allowing. You stop searching for signs and become the sign. Let me remind you, this is not about perfection. It is about presence. The quantum field does not require you to be endlessly positive. It only asks that you be coherent, to be honest about your feelings, to integrate the parts of you that you once pushed away, to bring your mind and body back into conversation. This is how your signal becomes pure again. Right now, as you listen, something in you already knows this truth. You can feel the resonance of it. The field around you is alive, conscious, and responsive. The moment you align with that knowing, even for a breath, reality begins to bend, not because you forced it, but because you remembered who you are, the observer, the creator, the bridge between potential and form. If this message is awakening something inside you, if you can feel even a small spark of recognition, I invite you to join this space. Hit subscribe not for numbers, but to become part of a community that practices coherence together. Each person here contributes to a shared frequency of awareness. When you join, you are adding your energy to that field, amplifying the signal we all share. So take another breath, slow, steady, present, and remember this: the field is not outside of you. It is within you and all around you. You are not trying to make reality change. You are remembering that you are reality observing itself. And that is where the real manifestation begins. Most people think they are creating their dream life through effort, but in truth, they are creating resistance. They try to push reality into shape, believing that the more they grind, the faster things will come together. But the quantum field does not speak the language of struggle. It speaks the language of coherence. When your energy becomes tense, when your thoughts run faster than your breath, you are not moving closer to your desires. You are simply amplifying noise in the field. Forcing is friction, and friction slows down the flow of creation. Think of how you hold a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. Manifestation works the same way. The harder you grip, the faster what you want escapes your reach. The mind says, "I must do more. I must prove I am worthy. I must control the timing." And yet those very thoughts emit the vibration of lack. In the language of the quantum, lack attracts lack. What you broadcast is what you receive. Reality is not ignoring you. It is echoing you. Every emotion, every thought, every reaction is a signal bouncing off the walls of infinity, returning to you as events and circumstances. When your inner state is one of tension, impatience, or disbelief, the field mirrors that back, not as punishment, but as a precise reflection. You are never being denied. You are being shown your current broadcast. Many people confuse effort with alignment. They think hard work equals worth, that the universe rewards exhaustion. But energy does not measure sweat. It measures coherence. Effort alone is not sacred. Alignment is. You can work for hours from a state of fear and achieve nothing, or take one aligned action from presence and see reality shift instantly. The body always tells the truth. When you are trying to manifest through force, your body tightens, your breathing shallows, Your nervous system prepares for battle. You might say the right affirmations, but your energy says, I do not trust. And because the field listens to vibration before language, it responds to that mistrust perfectly. It mirrors more waiting, more pushing, more striving. Notice this pattern in your own life. How often do you check your phone to see if they texted back? How often do you refresh your bank account, hoping the numbers changed? How often do you repeat affirmations while secretly doubting they will work? Each of those moments is a small broadcast of fear, a subtle signal that says, I do not believe I already have it. The quantum field has no concept of time. It does not know the difference between wanting and having. It only mirrors your current frequency. The paradox is that the moment you stop needing something so badly, the energy relaxes, the channel clears, and the thing you wanted begins to move towards you. Letting go feels unnatural because your conditioning has taught you that control equals safety. But in the deeper intelligence of the field, control is contraction, and contraction blocks flow. Think of the last time something beautiful entered your life without planning. Maybe a conversation that changed your direction, an idea that landed when you were not trying, a meeting that felt divinely timed. You were relaxed, open, unguarded. That is the energy of alignment. In that state, you are not chasing, you are allowing. You are not demanding, you are inviting. Forcing is like standing in the middle of a river, trying to push the water downstream faster. Alignment is learning to float, to trust the current that already knows where to go. The more you relax into that current, the more it carries you exactly where you need to be. The river has never forgotten the ocean, and neither have you. The human mind loves control because it believes control prevents chaos. But in truth, control is the chaos. The moment you release the need to manage every outcome, life begins to organize itself around your energy. The right people appear, the next steps become obvious, opportunities line up effortlessly. The field responds instantly to clarity, but it hesitates with confusion. And control is confusion disguised as effort. This is why forcing always feels heavy. When you are aligned, creation feels light, time seems to dissolve, and action flows naturally from inspiration instead of obligation. You still move, you still do, but the doing is no longer driven by fear. It is guided by inner knowing. This is the sweet spot where quantum manifestation becomes effortless. Let me be clear, this is not about passivity, it is about presence. There is a difference between surrender and giving up. Giving up comes from despair. Surrender comes from trust. One says, I am powerless. The other says, I am guided. When you surrender control, you do not lose power, you reclaim it. Because now, your energy is flowing in the same direction as the field, instead of against it. If you want to see how forcing creates friction, observe your emotions when you are trying too hard. You will notice frustration, exhaustion, self-judgment. Those are not signs of failure. They are signs of misalignment. The universe is not punishing you. It is inviting you to relax, to realign, to remember that ease is not laziness. Ease is clarity in motion. Everything in nature manifests through effortless intelligence. The tree does not force itself to grow. The sun does not struggle to shine. The ocean does not strain to move the tide. Yet everything happens in perfect timing, perfect precision. You are part of that same intelligence. When you stop forcing, you rejoin the rhythm of creation that has always known your name. You can begin this shift in small ways. When you notice yourself pushing, pause. Take one slow breath and feel your feet on the ground. Remind yourself, the field responds to my state, not my schedule. This single act of awareness dissolves friction. You have not failed, When you feel resistance, you have simply forgotten to soften. It might feel uncomfortable at first because the nervous system is addicted to doing. But over time, your body learns safety in stillness. You start to feel a quiet confidence, replacing the old urgency. You begin to see results arrive without strain, conversations open easily, synchronicities multiply, and peace becomes your baseline instead of anxiety. This is the point where many people experience the first real taste of quantum flow. They realize life was never against them. It was waiting for them to stop fighting. The moment you trust the rhythm, reality rearranges itself around that trust. This is not magic. It is physics expressed through consciousness. You are not manifesting by force. You are manifesting by frequency. And your frequency stabilizes when you choose alignment over control. The field is always saying yes to what you are broadcasting. When you broadcast peace, you receive clarity. When you broadcast trust, you receive timing. When you broadcast gratitude, you receive expansion. Right now, you have nothing to prove, nowhere to get, nothing missing. The field already contains the version of you that has everything you desire. Your task is not to create it, but to remember it. The more you let go of trying, the more that version of you steps forward. So take another slow breath. Feel the tension melting from your shoulders. The friction is dissolving, not because the world changed, but because you changed the way you meet it. This is the first true act of manifestation, not pushing reality, but aligning with it. The universe was never asking you to do more. It was inviting you to be more. And now, as you step into this understanding, we move into the next layer of the journey, where we uncover what truly makes the quantum field respond. Not just thoughts or emotions alone, but the harmony between them. Because the secret of manifestation is not in doing, it is in being coherent enough to be heard. Everything you experience begins the moment you observe it. The world you see is not fixed or solid. It is a field of infinite potential that becomes real through your focus. This is the heart of the observer effect. At the quantum level, every possibility exists as a wave until you look, and the act of looking collapses that wave into form. Reality takes shape around your awareness, just as light takes shape when it meets your eyes. You are not just living inside reality, you are helping to create it moment by moment. Most people think of observation as something passive, but in truth, it is one of the most powerful creative acts in existence. Wherever your attention goes, energy flows, and the field rearranges itself to match your dominant state. When you focus on fear, fear expands. When you focus on peace, peace begins to color your life. The field is not judging you. It is reflecting you. But here is the deeper layer that most teachings miss. The observer is not just your conscious mind. It is also your subconscious, your emotions, your nervous system, the energy that your heart radiates without a single word. The field listens to all of it. You may consciously want abundance, but if your subconscious is still bracing for loss, the quantum field will read the hidden signal, and that signal becomes your lived reality. The subconscious is the quiet observer behind the curtain, collapsing timelines you do not consciously choose. Think of your conscious mind as the captain of a ship, and your subconscious as the ocean it sails on. The captain may want to go east, but if the current flows west, the ship will follow the current. This is why awareness alone is not enough. You must bring coherence to all levels of your being so that your inner signals are not contradicting each other. When mind, heart, and body move together, the current changes direction. Science has already shown that the heart generates an electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than the brain. This field extends beyond your body and interacts with everything around you. When your heart and brain are in harmony, you emit a coherent frequency that the quantum field translates clearly. When they are disconnected, the signal becomes fragmented, and the reality that returns to you feels chaotic. This is why thinking positive thoughts while feeling anxious does not work. The words say one thing, but the vibration says another. You can repeat, "I am safe," but if your breath is shallow and your stomach tightens with fear, the body is still broadcasting danger. The field mirrors that state perfectly, not because it is cruel, but because it is precise. Energy cannot lie. So how do you become a coherent observer? You begin by noticing the gap between what you think and what you feel. Awareness is the bridge. You start listening to your body, not as an enemy to fix, but as an ally that reveals your true vibration. Every emotion carries information. Anger tells you where your boundaries are. Sadness shows you what you valued. Fear highlights where you stopped trusting life. When you stop fighting these emotions, they integrate, and the signal you send to the field becomes clear again. Imagine you are tuning a radio. If there is static, it is not because the music stopped playing. It is because you are slightly off frequency. The station still exists, but you need to adjust your dial. The same is true with your reality. You do not need to create abundance, love, or peace. You only need to tune into the version of yourself that already lives there. The act of observing from that frequency collapses that version of reality into being. You might think, but if this is true, why does change take so long? The answer lies in your attention. Every time you focus on what is missing, you reinforce the old frequency. Every time you return to gratitude, presence, or trust, you feed the new one. Reality is like a mirror that does not change until you stop staring at your reflection and start adjusting your expression. The outer world follows the inner one. The observer effect is not a concept to understand. It is a practice to embody. You practice it every time you pause before reacting. Every time you choose to breathe instead of panic. Every time you catch yourself judging and soften back into awareness. In those moments, you are shifting timelines without even realizing it. Your thoughts are electrical. Your emotions are magnetic. And together they create the electromagnetic blueprint that shapes your reality. When your thoughts and emotions are aligned, the field responds instantly. But when they are out of sync, the signal becomes distorted, and what returns to you feels random or delayed. Alignment is not a reward, it is physics. Remember, observation is not just seeing, it is feeling. When you witness your life with acceptance instead of resistance, you bring coherence to the observation itself. You stop collapsing waves from fear and start collapsing them from love. This is how reality begins to soften. This is how synchronicity begins to rise. Take a moment now and notice what you are observing in your own life. Are you watching what is working or what is missing? Are you focusing on what you fear or what you trust? Each observation is a choice point, a small steering wheel of reality. You are never stuck. You are simply tuned to a frequency you forgot you could change. Let's make it practical. When you wake up tomorrow, before checking your phone or replaying yesterday's stories, pause for one breath and say quietly, "I choose to observe with awareness today." Let that simple intention ripple into your field. Throughout the day, notice when you lose presence, when the old patterns of control or fear return, and gently come back to that breath. You are training your field to listen to coherence again. The more consistent you become, the faster reality begins to mirror this new state. People respond differently. Opportunities feel more aligned. Peace becomes easier to access. You begin to sense that life is not happening to you. It is happening through you. You are no longer just reacting. You are consciously observing and shaping. This is what it means to awaken as the observer. You realize that your power was never in the things you chase, but in the way you see them. You begin to understand that everything around you is alive and responding to your awareness. The field is intimate, interactive, immediate. It listens to your breath, your tone, your posture, your silence. And when all of that begins to harmonize, the world around you starts to hum in resonance. So take another slow breath and let this sink in. You are not a small being trying to manipulate a vast universe. You are the vast universe becoming aware of itself through this human form. You are both the wave and the observer, the dream and the dreamer. The moment you remember this, your relationship with reality changes forever. And now, as we move into the next part of this journey, we will explore the missing link that brings everything together: coherence, the invisible harmony between your thoughts, emotions, and actions that turns manifestation from theory into embodiment. Because the field is not asking you to try harder, it is asking you to become clearer. There is a hidden rhythm inside you that shapes everything you experience. It is not your thoughts alone, not your emotions alone, but the harmony between them. This harmony is what we call coherence. When your mind, heart, and body are in sync, the signal you send to the quantum field becomes clear, powerful, and magnetic. When they are out of sync, your energy becomes scattered, and the field mirrors that confusion back to you. Most people do not realize how often they are broadcasting mixed messages to the universe. They say, "I want peace," but their body is tense. They say, "I am abundant," but their stomach tightens every time they spend money. They say, "I am loved," but they hold their breath, waiting to be rejected. The words travel one way, the vibration travels another, and the field receives static. Coherence is the moment when everything inside you agrees. It is the calm after resistance, the silence after noise, the breath after chaos. In that moment, you are no longer sending fragmented signals. You are broadcasting one unified frequency, and the universe responds immediately because it finally understands what you mean. Think of an orchestra. If each instrument plays its own tune, the sound becomes noise. But when they follow the same rhythm, the same key, the music becomes alive and beautiful. Your energy works the same way. The mind is the conductor, the heart is the melody, the body is the drum that keeps time. When they play together, your entire life begins to flow in harmony. Coherence is not a mental trick. It is a physiological state. Your heart rhythm becomes stable. Your brain waves synchronize. Your breathing deepens, and your nervous system shifts from defense to trust. Science calls this heart-brain coherence, but ancient wisdom simply called it presence. It is the same stillness the mystics spoke of, the same flow the athletes describe, the same alignment that artists feel when creation pours through them effortlessly. You cannot fake coherence. The field reads vibration, not performance, but you can train it. It begins with awareness. The moment you notice your mind racing ahead or your body tightening, pause. Take one slow breath. Feel your chest rise and fall. Bring your attention from your head into your heart. That small act begins to sync your internal rhythm. The power of coherence is that it does not require perfection. You can have doubt, you can have fear, you can have uncertainty. But when you bring them into awareness and breathe through them, you integrate them. The moment you stop fighting your emotions, they begin to harmonize. The signal becomes cleaner, and the field responds faster. Imagine a lake on a windy day. The surface is chaotic, the reflection distorted. But when the wind calms, the surface clears, and you can finally see the sky. Your energy is that lake. When your thoughts and emotions are chaotic, the reflection you see in your life feels distorted. But when you calm the inner wind, the reflection becomes clear. Coherence is also contagious. When you are calm, others feel safe around you. When your energy is grounded, your environment begins to balance itself. You do not need to speak. The field around you translates your state and adjusts. This is why one coherent person can shift the energy of an entire room without saying a word. The heart is the bridge. It connects your human experience to the intelligence of the field. Every time you breathe into your heart and feel gratitude, love, or peace, you expand that bridge. Gratitude especially is one of the fastest ways to enter coherence. It tells the field, I already have what I asked for. It shifts you from seeking to receiving. If you ever doubt this, remember how your body feels when you are truly grateful. The chest opens, the breath softens, the tension melts. In that instant, your energy aligns. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It is a frequency that harmonizes your entire field. And because the universe mirrors that state, more moments arrive to match it. Most people approach manifestation as a checklist, a set of rituals to control outcomes. But coherence dissolves the need for control. When you are coherent, you no longer chase, you attract. You no longer ask, you embody. You no longer doubt, you know. The universe becomes responsive because you are clear. Coherence is not built through effort. It is remembered through awareness. You were born coherent. Every baby breathes from the belly, feels emotions fully, and releases them naturally. Over time, you learn to hold tension, to suppress feelings, to overthink. Coherence is simply returning home to the rhythm you once knew by heart. You can practice coherence anywhere. As you walk, let your breath and steps fall into rhythm. As you speak, slow your pace and feel the vibration of your words. When you eat, taste your food with full presence. When you listen, really listen. Each act of presence strengthens your coherence. Each moment of coherence refines your signal. And this is where manifestation becomes effortless. Because when you are coherent, the field does not need to guess what you want. Your vibration is clean, your energy is aligned, and the universe mirrors you with precision. Opportunities flow faster, intuition sharpens, relationships deepen. Life begins to feel orchestrated by something greater, yet completely familiar. Coherence also protects your energy. In a chaotic world, your coherence becomes an anchor. It prevents you from absorbing the noise of others because your frequency is stable. You are no longer a sponge for chaos, but a transmitter of calm. The more coherent you are, the less reactive you become. The less reactive you become, the more creative you are. This is not about escaping the world. It is about influencing it differently. When you walk into a room in coherence, you change the frequency of that space. When you make decisions from coherence, the outcomes naturally align. You begin to live in resonance with the intelligence of life itself. The beauty of coherence is that it bridges science and spirit. It shows that spirituality is not about escaping the body. It is about integrating it. When your biology supports your awareness, the field amplifies your signal exponentially. You stop living in survival and start living in creation. Let this truth settle in you. Coherence is not something you do. It is what remains when you stop resisting yourself. It is the natural state beneath all the noise, the silence beneath thought, the rhythm beneath chaos. Every time you return to this place, you remind the universe who you really are. So as you take a deep breath right now, feel your heartbeat, feel your chest expand, feel your body soften. This is coherence. This is power without force. This is alignment made visible. And as you learn to live from this state, reality begins to meet you halfway. In the next part of this journey, we will explore the hidden trap that pulls you out of coherence again and again, the control trap, the subtle addiction of the human mind to manage what was never meant to be managed. Because to master manifestation, You must learn not how to push reality, but how to trust it. The human mind is addicted to control. It believes that if it can manage every detail, it will finally feel safe. It measures, plans, and predicts as if reality were a machine that can be programmed through effort alone. But in the quantum field, control is the opposite of power. The more you try to dominate reality, the more it mirrors back resistance. The field does not respond to control, it responds to coherence. You have been taught that control means strength, that letting go means weakness. But in truth, control is born from fear, and letting go is born from trust. Fear says I must hold everything together. Trust says I am supported. Fear creates contraction. Trust creates flow. The universe does not withhold from you. It simply matches the energy you are holding. Most people live in the control trap without realizing it. They visualize and affirm, but their nervous system is locked in vigilance. They say they want peace, yet they check for evidence every hour to make sure it is working. They try to manifest love, but analyze every message for hidden meaning. They affirm abundance, but count the money with anxiety. These actions broadcast one silent signal to the field: I do not believe it is already mine. And the field, ever precise, mirrors that disbelief perfectly. Control is not bad. It is simply misunderstood. It comes from a younger part of you that learned to survive by predicting danger. It is the child that once believed love was conditional, safety was uncertain, and peace had to be earned. That part of you is not wrong. It is simply tired. It has been running the same program for too long. When you begin to observe that impulse to control with compassion instead of judgment, something softens. You realize control is just fear dressed as responsibility. The mind thinks surrender means passivity, but surrender is active trust. It is the art of aligning with what already wants to happen. Imagine a bird trying to control the wind. It would exhaust itself. But when it opens its wings and allows the wind to lift it, flight becomes effortless. You are that bird. The wind is life, and the moment you stop fighting the air, you begin to soar. Control always feels heavy because it comes from separation. When you try to control life, you assume you are separate from it. But when you remember that you are life, that you are the field observing itself, the need to control dissolves naturally. You begin to sense a quiet intelligence moving through everything, a timing that is never early, never late. You can notice when control is taking over by how your body feels. The shoulders tense, the breath shortens, the jaw tightens. These are not signs of failure. They are messages from your body saying you have left trust. When you notice it, you can smile gently and return. Take a breath, unclench your hands, feel your feet on the ground, and remind yourself, I do not need to force what is already flowing. Letting go is not giving up. It is giving permission. You are allowing the energy you have been holding so tightly to move freely again. In that freedom, manifestation accelerates. The field can finally rearrange without resistance. Control is like static on a radio. When you let go, the static fades and the song plays clearly. The irony is that the more you let go, the more influence you actually have. Because influence in the quantum world does not come from effort, it comes from resonance. When your energy is steady, the field responds instantly. When your trust deepens, life organizes around that trust. You become magnetic not because you are chasing, but because you are radiating clarity. Think of how water flows around rocks in a stream. It does not argue with the obstacle. It moves around it with grace, and over time even shapes the stone. That is the power of alignment without control. You are not here to fight reality. You are here to shape it through your steady presence. The control trap is subtle. It can hide behind spirituality, behind planning, even behind kindness. You might tell yourself you are helping others, But if underneath you are afraid things will fall apart without you, that is still control. True compassion flows without attachment to outcome. True creation arises from trust, not tension. So how do you escape the control trap? You begin by noticing your patterns of gripping. Ask yourself, where in my life am I trying to force clarity instead of allowing it? Where am I monitoring results instead of embodying faith? Awareness alone starts to loosen the grip. The moment you name control, you begin to dissolve it. Next, practice small acts of surrender. Leave some space in your day unplanned. Let a conversation unfold without rehearsing your next line. Allow silence to exist without filling it. Each of these moments teaches your nervous system that safety can exist without control. Over time, trust becomes your new default. You will find that when you stop micromanaging life, life begins to manage itself with elegant precision. People appear at the right time. Ideas connect in perfect sequence. What once felt blocked starts moving on its own. You are not losing structure. You are aligning with intelligence. The quantum field thrives on that openness. This does not mean you stop taking action. It means your action arises from clarity instead of fear. You still move forward, but the movement feels guided, peaceful, and deeply effective. The energy behind the action is clean. That is the difference between effort and alignment. Many people ask, how do I know if I am controlling or aligning? The answer is in the feeling. Control feels tight, forced, urgent. Alignment feels open, flowing, peaceful. Control demands certainty. Alignment trusts timing. The more you learn to feel the difference, the more naturally you choose the path of ease. Reality is not something you conquer, it is something you collaborate with. You are not here to wrestle the field into submission, you are here to dance with it. The dance requires listening. It requires sensitivity. It requires letting the music of life lead sometimes. When you surrender to that rhythm, you become both the dancer and the dance. Control collapses possibilities because it insists on one outcome. Trust expands them because it allows the field to deliver in ways your mind could never predict. Some of the most beautiful manifestations come from directions you did not plan. That is the art of effortless creation. Take a deep breath now and feel the energy of control leaving your body. Notice how much lighter you feel when you release the need to know. The unknown is not your enemy. It is the space where miracles are born. When you relax into uncertainty, you activate the intelligence of the field. The next step always reveals itself to a mind at peace. And as you live this way, you begin to see that the universe was never withholding your desires. It was simply waiting for you to stop standing in the way. The moment you release control, reality begins to move with you instead of against you. In the next part, we will dive deeper into the truth that changes everything. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. It is not about chasing outcomes. It is about embodying the frequency that already holds them. Because once you become the vibration, the field has no choice but to match you. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. This is the deepest truth most people overlook because it demands more than changing your thoughts. It asks you to change your state of being. The field does not respond to your words or desires. It responds to your vibration. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every action you take is a signal you send to the quantum field. And the field, with perfect precision, mirrors that signal back to you. Imagine for a moment that your life is like a radio. If you want to hear jazz, you do not sit there demanding it while staying tuned to a heavy metal station. You have to turn the dial. The quantum field works the same way. You cannot experience peace while vibrating in anxiety. You cannot experience abundance while vibrating in lack. You cannot experience love while your heart is closed in fear. You must become the frequency of what you seek. The problem is not that you are unworthy or broken. It is that your signal is split. One part of you wants to move forward, while another part is still anchored in an old identity, an old story that says you are not enough. The field receives both signals and mirrors both realities. This is why some days you feel powerful and others you feel lost. You are tuning between frequencies without realizing it. To manifest consciously, you must stabilize your vibration. You do this not by trying harder, but by becoming aware of the stories you are broadcasting unconsciously. Ask yourself, what am I expecting from life? What emotion am I living in every day? Because your dominant emotional tone is the frequency that shapes your world. If you wake up in fear, the field will organize around fear. If you wake up in gratitude, the field will organize around abundance. Becoming the vibration means embodying it before you have evidence of it. Most people wait to feel abundant until the money arrives, to feel loved until someone loves them, to feel peaceful until life quiets down. But in the quantum field, the order is reversed. You must feel it first, then see it. You must broadcast the frequency of the timeline you wish to live in before it becomes visible. The field mirrors who you are being, not what you are wishing. This is where true transformation begins. When you realize that your state of being is not a reaction to life, but the cause of it. You stop asking, when will it come? And start asking, who am I being right now? That question changes everything, because every version of you already exists in the field. The peaceful you, the abundant you, the loving you, they are all real. You do not create them, you tune into them. When you hold the frequency of the person who already has what you desire, your choices begin to change. You speak differently, you walk differently, you treat yourself differently. You become magnetic because your actions, emotions, and thoughts are coherent. The field reads that as truth and responds instantly. This does not mean pretending to be happy when you are not. It means allowing your emotions to move through you without judgment. You cannot reach coherence by faking vibration. You reach it by integrating the parts of you that are still afraid. When you hold yourself with compassion, when you meet your pain with presence, the energy that once blocked you becomes fuel for creation. Start small. If you want to manifest love, practice being the energy of love. Be kind without needing anything in return. Open your heart even when no one is watching. Feel gratitude for the moments when connection flows easily and gentleness for when it does not. If you want to manifest abundance, practice generosity. Share your time, your attention, your ideas. Tell yourself, I have enough. I am enough. Let your body learn the feeling of enoughness. If you want to manifest health, practice presence. Instead of judging your body, listen to it. Instead of fighting it, support it. Feel the gratitude for each breath, each movement, each heartbeat. This awareness changes your chemistry, your cells, your vibration. The body responds to love faster than it does to discipline. Each of these small acts builds coherence between who you are and who you want to be. Over time, the old identity loses power. The old frequency fades, and the new one stabilizes. You begin to feel naturally aligned with what you desire. You no longer have to chase outcomes, because you have become their frequency. The mind will resist this at first. It will say, but I do not see the results yet. I need proof. That is the old timeline speaking. You are not waiting for proof, you are creating it. The evidence comes after the embodiment. This is the part that feels like magic but is actually simple physics. The field collapses the wave that matches your most coherent signal. The stronger your embodiment, the faster the collapse. You will know you are aligned, not by how fast things arrive, but by how peaceful you feel before they do. When you no longer need the thing to complete you, the field can finally deliver it. Because you are no longer sending the frequency of lack, you are broadcasting wholeness. Wholeness is magnetic. There will still be moments when you wobble, when old emotions rise and old patterns whisper. That is natural. Do not fight them. Notice, breathe, and return to your chosen frequency. Each return strengthens your signal. Consistency of being is more powerful than intensity of effort. You might find that as your vibration changes, certain people, situations, or habits begin to fall away. This is not loss, it is recalibration. The field is rearranging to match your new state. Let it happen. Trust that what leaves is clearing space for what aligns. You do not have to force this process. You only have to keep choosing coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in the same direction, you become unstoppable. The field does not resist you because you are no longer resisting yourself. Take a deep breath right now and feel the vibration you are sending. Are you broadcasting need or gratitude? Are you vibrating in fear or trust? Whatever you feel is your signal. You can change it in any moment. You are not waiting for reality to shift. Reality is waiting for you to shift. You manifest what you are, not what you want. So make being your art. Make coherence your practice. Every breath is a choice point. Every moment is an opportunity to return to alignment. When you embody the vibration of the life you desire, the field cannot help but mirror it. And as we move into the next part of this journey, we will turn this understanding into practice. We will explore how to maintain alignment every day, how to use simple rituals to stay coherent, and how to make your state of being your most powerful tool of creation. Because manifestation is not something you do, it is something you live. Awareness means nothing if it does not become a living rhythm. To manifest consciously, you must turn knowledge into practice, insight into embodiment, and intention into habit. Alignment is not a one-time realization. It is a daily dance between your energy and the field. Each morning, each thought, each breath is a chance to choose coherence again. The simplest way to stay aligned is to build rituals that remind you who you are. You do not need complex routines or strict discipline, only small moments of conscious connection woven through your day. The quantum field responds to consistency more than intensity. It listens to your frequency not just in meditation, but in motion, not just when you are calm, but when life feels chaotic. Begin each morning before you reach for your phone. Sit quietly for a minute and ask yourself, what frequency do I choose to live in today? Maybe it is peace, maybe it is trust, maybe it is joy. Feel that word in your body until it becomes more than a concept. Let your breath move with it. This is how you set your energetic tone, and the field will organize around that tone all day. Throughout the day, use awareness as your compass. Notice when your energy tightens, when your thoughts spiral, when your emotions become heavy. Those are not failures, they are feedback. The field is showing you where you slipped out of coherence. You do not need to fix it, you only need to notice it and return. One slow breath can recalibrate your entire frequency. The body is your instrument of manifestation. Every gesture, every breath, every heartbeat is broadcasting your signal. When you walk, let your steps be grounded. When you speak, let your voice carry calm. When you listen, let your heart stay open. Presence is not stillness alone. It is awareness in motion. In the evening, before sleep, replay your day not with judgment, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, where did I feel most aligned today? Where did I lose balance? Where did I remember to return? Gratitude amplifies coherence. So thank yourself even for the smallest moments of awareness. The brain records that gratitude as evidence of progress, and the field amplifies it as energy of completion. You can turn any ordinary moment into a quantum ritual. When you drink water, imagine it absorbing your frequency of peace. When you breathe, imagine light filling your body. When you look at the sky, feel it looking back at you. These small acts remind your subconscious that the field is alive and responsive. Alignment also means curating your environment. Energy is contagious. The people, sounds, and spaces around you either regulate your frequency or disrupt it. Surround yourself with what makes you feel expansive. Spend time with those who speak from awareness. Listen to music that lifts your vibration. Reduce the noise that keeps your nervous system in defense. You do not protect your energy by closing off, but by choosing wisely where you place your attention. Your attention is sacred. Every time you give it away to distractions, negativity, or fear, you weaken your signal. Every time you bring it back to presence, you strengthen it. The field does not respond to what you want sporadically. It responds to what you sustain consistently. Do not underestimate the power of community. When people gather with shared intention, their fields synchronize. This is called resonance. When you meditate with others, breathe with others, or simply listen to ideas that lift you, your nervous system begins to mirror that higher frequency. The field magnifies coherence exponentially when more than one heart beats in harmony. This is why I often say, you are not doing this alone. You are part of a collective awakening. Each person who chooses presence adds to the stability of the field we all live in. When you choose trust instead of fear, you are not only healing yourself, you are helping recalibrate the human frequency. Some days alignment will feel effortless, and some days it will feel like work. That is normal. Energy moves in cycles. When resistance arises, meet it gently. Do not fight the low moments. Flow through them with patience. The ocean of consciousness does not judge the tide. Each wave, even the turbulent ones, eventually returns to stillness. Remember that progress in the quantum world is not measured by results, but by resonance. The goal is not to have a perfect day, but to keep returning to your center faster each time you drift away. Every return is a victory. Every breath of awareness expands your coherence. If you ever feel lost, remind yourself of this truth. The field has not forgotten you. It is simply waiting for your signal to stabilize again. The moment you come back into alignment, the flow resumes. You do not need to chase it. You only need to remember it. Let your daily life become your meditation. Let your relationships become your mirrors. Let your challenges become your teachers. Manifestation is not separate from living. It is woven into every moment you meet with awareness. When you live this way, something subtle but extraordinary begins to happen. Time feels different. Synchronicities multiply. You start to sense what is coming before it arrives. The people you meet seem to carry messages. The obstacles you face reveal hidden lessons. The universe begins to feel intimate, personal, alive. You realize it was never random. It was always responding to your vibration. You are not practicing alignment to control life. You are practicing it to remember your partnership with it. Each day is a conversation between your energy and the field. Each breath is a message. Each act of presence is a declaration. I am here, I am listening, I am co-creating. So tonight, as you close your eyes, let that awareness settle into your body. Feel the rhythm of your breath, matching the rhythm of the universe. Feel the quiet hum beneath all things. That is the sound of coherence. That is the frequency of creation. And as you rest in that knowing, prepare to enter the final part of this journey where we bring everything together. Because manifestation is not about chasing dreams. It is about living as the dream itself. It is about realizing that you are the field, and that every moment you are aligned, life responds as your perfect reflection. Everything you have learned so far leads here. You are not separate from the field. You are the field. The energy that shapes the stars is the same energy that moves through your heart. The consciousness that holds galaxies together is the same awareness that looks through your eyes. You are not a small being trying to reach the universe. You are the universe remembering itself through human form. When you begin to see this, everything changes. You stop trying to control the flow and start becoming the flow. You stop searching for signs and start realizing that you are the sign. The moment you align with this truth, the field no longer feels distant or mysterious. It feels intimate, responsive, alive. Reality stops being something you struggle to fix. It becomes something you participate in consciously. The field is not judging you, it is reading you. It listens to your thoughts, your emotions, your body, your breath. It mirrors the quality of your presence. When you move through life in fear, the field echoes fear. When you move through life in gratitude, it echoes abundance. The field does not delay. It simply translates your vibration into form. This is why the most powerful manifestors are not the ones who do the most, but the ones who are the most. They live from a state of awareness, from a grounded peace that does not depend on external proof. They act, but their action comes from inner clarity. They speak, but their words carry coherence. They trust, not because everything is easy, but because they understand that even the challenges are part of the unfolding. You are not here to perfect yourself. You are here to remember yourself. Every time you pause, breathe, and return to the present moment, you step back into the field of creation. You begin to feel that reality is not outside of you, but within you. Each breath you take is a pulse of creation. Each choice a new wave collapsing into form. The greatest freedom comes when you stop trying to make life happen and start allowing life to happen through you. You become the vessel, the channel, the observer, and the observed. In that state, even silence feels full. You notice beauty in small moments, synchronicity in simple events, meaning in ordinary days. Life becomes meditation in motion. To live as the field is to understand that everything is communication. The delay, the detour, the quiet moment, they all have a message. When you listen deeply, you begin to hear the language of energy. A closed door is not rejection, it is redirection. A pause is not punishment, it is preparation. The field is always guiding you toward the most coherent timeline available. There will still be times when fear arises, when old patterns whisper, when the mind wants to take back control. In those moments, do not resist. Smile gently, breathe, and remember, I am the field, I am the wave, I am the observer. Bring that awareness into your body until you can feel it vibrating in your cells. This is how you anchor consciousness into matter. Gratitude keeps you connected. When you wake, thank the energy that breathes you. When you eat, thank the intelligence that grows your food. When you rest, thank the stillness that restores you. Gratitude turns every moment into a portal of alignment. The field amplifies whatever frequency you offer, and gratitude is one of the purest signals there is. Connection amplifies creation. When you surround yourself with people who live from awareness, your energy strengthens. This is why communities of consciousness are so powerful. Each person's coherence reinforces the others. You are not walking this path alone. You are part of a global resonance rising together, a network of awareness remembering its unity. As you integrate everything you have learned, remember that manifestation is not a performance, it is a practice. It is not something to prove, it is something to live. You will wobble, you will forget, you will fall back into control at times. That is not failure, that is growth. Each return to awareness expands your capacity to stay there longer. Each breath of presence builds the foundation of a new reality. Before we close, take a moment to feel your own energy. Close your eyes and sense the subtle vibration beneath your skin, the pulse of life moving through you. That vibration is not separate from the stars. It is the same frequency expressed in a different form. You are the universe becoming aware of itself. You are creation observing its own beauty. If this message resonates, if something inside you feels seen or remembered, know that it is not coincidence. The field brought you here because you were ready to hear this, ready to remember who you are, ready to live as the frequency that shapes worlds. And if you wish to keep walking this path with us, to explore even deeper layers of this truth, stay connected. Subscribe, not as a follower, but as a co-creator in this living field. Each time you join a conversation, each time you share your experience, you strengthen the resonance we are building together. You become part of a global field of coherence, where every thought, every act of awareness ripples through the collective. So as you leave this space today, carry one word with you. Let it be your signal to the universe. Maybe it is peace. Maybe it is trust. Maybe it is love. Whisper it softly. Feel it deeply. And know that as you do, the field responds immediately. Because you and the universe are not two things. You are one breath, one rhythm, one consciousness unfolding. Keep aligning, keep breathing, keep remembering. You are the field you always have been, and everything you have ever wanted has been waiting for you to see it from here.